All right, everyone, welcome back to Two Guys, One Swamp, the podcast. We're your hosts, Austin and Trey. We're excited to be with you tonight. Glad you're joining us. And Trey, we got a lot to talk about, man.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot, a
baby.
lot. Uh, so first off, we had a big press conference Monday with Jon Sumrall, and very impressive in my opinion. He hit a lot of. It's almost like he had a script of like things Gator fans wanted to hear, and he just nailed each and every single point. He said a lot of great things. What were some things that really stood out to you throughout his press conference?
Yeah, there were so many really great nuggets in there all throughout. So many great quotes that he had. Um, so I mean, like I said in the last episode, I've been a fan of John Summerall, and that press conference just validated all of my positive feelings I had about him. I was ready to run through a brick wall after listening to that press conference, and I think most of Gator Nation was too. Uh, But the number one thing I think,
With a helmet or without a helmet?
oh, no helmet, no
No
helmet.
helmet. All right.
Um,
Cam Scatterboo style.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I think the number one question, or the number one quote that I think really exemplifies the difference between him and Billy Napier in the press conference was when he said, "I don't want to have a plan to win in 8 years. I want to win tomorrow." And that's a very stark contrast from Billy Napier's opening press conference when the message was, it's going to take a little bit longer than you guys are going to want. You guys are going to get mad at me because it's going to be a slow build. So I think in a nutshell, that's really it. He wants to win now. He's willing to do whatever it takes to win. That was the vibe that I got in the press conference, and yeah, I think I feel like he's willing to do whatever it takes and change whatever he needs to change and adapt. Most importantly, adapt uh, in whatever way he needs to in order to win, which is what's needed in college football. Because we saw what Billy Napier was and wasn't willing to do to win. He wasn't willing to give up play calling, and he wasn't willing to go out and hire big time assistants, and he stuck to his friends. So the yeah, I want to win now. And another big one on that hiring friends point is when he was asked about it, he immediately and emphatically said, "I don't hire my friends, and I've lost friends over it." So I think those two are the two biggest quotes that I think, at least for me, that those got me fired up and gave me a lot of hope for his tenure moving forward.
Yeah, I think we're seeing uh, quite a bit of course correction right away with Summerall. He's moving fast. He's moving aggressively. He is backing up the talk. Um, we saw Napier say that it's a talent acquisition business right when he took the job, and then he proceeded to take only six guys in the portal, that first portal window, and obviously year one didn't go that well. Um, Summerall, he already has made hires. He's coaching two teams right now too, so he's pulling double duty and still backing up the talk. But we'll get more into that in a bit. But something that stood out to me with him too was him recognizing two coaching legends, Gator legends, in Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier, and the fact that they're within arm's reach. They were literally within arm's reach probably at the press conference, but metaphorically they are too because he can call them anytime he wants. If he has got a question, a concern, hey, coach, what do you think about this? Because you have two greats that will answer the phone for you anytime because they love the University of Florida. And it's been said that Billy Napier kind of was a little bit more reserved, didn't really use that wealth of knowledge that those two had, and he recognized right away what an asset those two could be. And to me, that's not even, that's not as big as hiring a coordinator or, what quarterback you put on the field. But a little thing like that, I think, can go a long way because we've seen that Todd Golden relies on Billy Donovan a lot too, and we've seen how he's done, and uh, it's a big thing. But overall, As you said, schematically, he's going to adjust. He did say on a podcast or an interview, I believe, that even though he's used a lot of 12 personnel at Tulane, he's going to run more 10 and 11 personnel, which is more of a fit for Florida. And right off the bat, I mean, he's backing up the talk. He's going to change the scheme ahead of time, knowing what will fit us better. I
Mhm.
mean, does that surprise you at all that he would jump on that fast?
No, not at all. Like I think that fits exactly with who he's been and who he's shown himself to be, you know. Like I said before, willingness to adapt. And I mean he specifically called out in the press conference, like we have great skill players here at the University of Florida, and he wants to, and it's one of his missions is to make sure that they're retained, that we keep them. I did think it was funny that he said that about the skill players, and then did not say that about the O line when he mentioned O line immediately after. So
Well, I mean, he's probably watched this play like everyone else, so
yeah,
shouldn't be too surprising. But
no.
again, just to change your identity as a coach, that doesn't happen very often, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So credit to him there. I do believe he'll follow through on it. Overall, his record as a head coach now, he's in year four, is 42 and 11, which I don't want to bring it up, but it's pretty similar to Napier's. But obviously, context matters. Context saves lives. This is now his fourth conference championship game in his 4 years of being a head coach, which I think says a lot. He is a winner. And
Mm-hmm.
he said in the press conference, I'm a winner. I'm going to win. I want to win now. I'm paraphrasing. He said it more eloquently, probably. But I think that we will see results right away. I don't know that we'll see championships right away, but I do think we'll see results. Um, it's going to be a really interesting year one. Do you have any thoughts on how year one might go under a guy who wants to win now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I so ordinarily for most head coaches, even the elite head coaches, like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, um, they've gotten off to some kind of rocky year one starts. Um, I think the transfer portal kind of changes that. I mean, like so, yeah. Ordinarily, you would kind of just toss year one win totals out the window as long as it's not like 4-8 or something. Like 5 wins are better in year one. It's like, all right, that's fine as long as the other rest of the stuff and like recruiting and everything is moving in the right direction. Um, but now I think with the transfer portal, it opens the door to be able to bring in a roster that's capable of winning more games than that. And I mean, I know the SEC is not the American Conference. The SEC is not the Sun Belt. So it may be a taller task to ask him to win like 9 games in year one, like he did at Tulane, or gosh darn, well, like 10 or 11 games in year one, his first year as a head coach at Troy. But I I I don't want to say I expect to him to win 8-9 games immediately. But I mean, the Gator fan of me is hoping for that, But at the same time, if year ones can be weird. So even if it doesn't go great year one win total wise, if we're 6-6 or something, I'm not saying we should throw it out the window, but I think there's reason to have hope that we could have a fast start to his tenure.
Well, we haven't won 9 games since 2019, Trey.
Yeah.
So I think even when winning 9 games would be a banner year right now. But so we can comfortably say that he won the press conference easy,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
which a lot of coaches do. But we've actually already seen what he said in action, which we're going to get into, which actually brings me to my next topic, our next topic, National Signing Day, which took place a whopping 48 hours after his press conference. Not a lot of turnaround time. So let me throw a few quick stats at you, Trey. So we had 19 total commits, with 14 of those being blue chippers. And if you look at on three, our class was ranked 13th overall, which would be the highest transition class in the modern era, which I'm talking about since we joined the SEC.
Wow.
Obviously, the major legwork of that was done by Napier and crew,
Mhm.
but with so little time and other schools with big pockets out there to keep the class together like that, I mean that's pretty impressive.
Yes, certainly. I think you definitely have to give Jon Sumrall credit for keeping the guys bought in and getting them to give him an opportunity. But I do think we also need to give credit to Billy Napier and the previous staff, uh, just with the recruiting job they did and the kind of guys that they recruited and getting them bought into the University of Florida, not just to Billy Napier. So I think there's a lot of credit to go around there, and it's really impressive what the University of Florida has been able to do with keeping that class together.
Well, if they wanted to play for Billy Napier, they're going to love playing for Jon Sumrall. Let me
Yeah,
tell you, you got to steal there.
that's right.
Also, something he said in his press conference that I also really like that has to do with signing day. He told the Tulane players that he had committed there to
Mm-hmm.
sign with Tulane,
Mm-hmm.
which shows to me he knows the caliber of player that he needs. Uh, he might have. I know there's one guy who's a four-star for Tulane. There might be one guy that he can maybe take with him. I believe that guy is now signing in February, so we'll see where he goes.
Yeah,
But he basically told them nicely, "Hey, you're fine where you're at," you know,
yeah.
and I appreciate that. And I think again, it shows that he quote gets it, and he's proving that. Uh, moving on, Trey, and this is pretty recent news actually. Yesterday. And today was made official. Brad White was hired from Kentucky, longtime SEC coordinator, 7-year vet. And then tonight, big one, big fish reeled in. Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech was hired to be the OC. And I've seen a few people say that we now have the best coordinator duo in the SEC as of now. And I can't say really have an argument against that. Do you?
Well, I'd have to look at some of the other coordinators in the SEC to make it an educated statement
Keep
on
in mind, Blake
that. But
Baker is not going to be at LSU anymore.
oh, really?
No, he's taking the Tulane job as of tonight.
Really? Oh, shoot! I did not hear that. I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised. I thought he'd get a
Well, he
Power
played
Five
there, so
job.
that's a big reason why.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Um, But wow, okay, if Blake Baker's gone, then that does certainly change things. I mean, the only, I would say Alabama's coordinator
Alabama's
is
got Ryan
really
Grubb.
good. Ryan Grubb is really good. Um, but outside of that, I can't think of any off the top of my head that are like that you could definitely argue is better. Um, and even with Alabama, I mean, it remains to be seen how Brad White and Faulkner are going to do here. But yeah, immediate reaction is I think they're both slam dunk hires. Brad White, his defenses. I mean, if you just look at the rankings for his defenses at Kentucky, it doesn't jump out at you. It doesn't look special, but you got to remember he's doing it at Kentucky with a much lower talent profile, and I think uh, whenever I think about the Kentucky defenses over the last several years, I think of all of those just slugfests that they've had against teams that are much more talented than them. Their defense is keeping them in games that they have no business staying in. I mean, they've taken Georgia, down to the wire a couple times. They've done a better job of playing against Georgia than Florida has over the last 4 or 5 years. And
Arguably, yeah.
I mean, did the same thing with Texas this past year. They just straight up beat Ole Miss last season. Um, so yeah, I think it's a great hire, Brad White. I'm really looking forward to what he can do with some better talent. And Faulkner, I mean, that's the big fish. He's Burroughs Award finalist. He was able to, similar to Brad White, do more with less at Georgia Tech. You know, they're they're still Georgia Tech. Their talent profile isn't going to be what he's has to work with at Florida. But I mean, his quarterback is one of the guys at the top of the list for the Heisman. So I think that speaks for itself.
Right. And Brad White had four top 25 defenses since 2019 at Kentucky. Pretty impressive considering the talent he had. Um, Buster Faulkner had Georgia Tech ranked number 12 overall in total offense this year. Had Haynes King as a Heisman hopeful. And remember, Haynes King was a nobody when he got to
Yeah,
Georgia
yeah,
Tech.
he is a very limited quarterback,
Very
and,
limited. We'll be
and Buster
selling
Faulkner turned him
insurance
into
next
a
year for
Heisman
sure.
hopeful.
Right. And he'll have elevated talent this year for sure. Or excuse me, next year. Um, Haynes King, not an NFL guy. No offense to him.
No,
Also interesting, Buster Faulkner, when he was at UGA, worked under Todd Monken, one of the best
right,
play callers in the sport right now.
that's
Uh,
right.
Probably learned a lot from him. Also, Coach Stetson Bennett was a huge reason why Stetson Bennett really played well above his weight class, leading Georgia to two national titles. Really just strong guys, just know what they're doing, veterans. Not, I mean, one of the things about Napier was when he would hire coordinators that weren't himself, um, his defensive coordinators were really young. Uh, Austin Armstrong was in his 20s when he got hired.
Mhm.
Uh, Patrick Tony was, I believe, early 30s. They just weren't there yet, I think. They weren't grizzled, they weren't tested. And Buster Faulkner is 44. He's been around the block, and Brad White is 43. Again, been around the block.
Mhm.
I think experience matters, just like with players from freshman to senior year. Experience matters. It always does.
Mhm.
My opinion. Any other thoughts on the coaching hires, Trey?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Other than I mean, just another contrast from Napier to Summerall. I mean, I know this horse has been beat to death, but but yeah, I mean, you mentioned Napier's defensive coordinator hires. Every single one was one of his buddies who he'd worked with at his last at Louisiana, and Ron Roberts turned out pretty good. But I mean, 33% success rate is not great. Uh,
No, that's failing grade.
yeah.
Okay, Trey, let me ask you a question, all right? Have you heard of the phrase stop the press?
What? No.
No? Have you heard the phrase stop the cap?
Yeah.
All right, well, here's a stop the cap question for you.
Okay. I don't work
Billy
in school. I
Napier,
don't work in a school anymore. I'm not in on all the lingo.
well, I'll teach you, don't worry.
Yeah.
Billy Napier uh, will be a dude at JMU in the Sun Belt again. Stop the cap, yes or no? You think it's true or you think it's false?
It depends on how you define dude. Do I think he like like I said, year ones can be weird. Do I think he can have JMU consistently winning like 9 or 10 games most years? Probably. Um, I mean, he did a really good job at Louisiana. So I mean, I guess it really depends on whether his failures at Florida had to do with his process not scaling up to big boy football, or whether his failure at Florida was more so due to the sport changing and him not being able to adapt. I It could be either. I tend to think maybe it's the latter, and it's his lack of adaptability. And so if he doesn't change that, then he could have a tough time at JMU, because anytime he does find a diamond in the rough, they're going to get poached by a bigger school, and he's going to have to lean on the portal. So I don't know. He could replicate his. I wouldn't be surprised if he replicated at least some of his success that he had at Louisiana. I would be surprised if he was winning like 10, 11 games a year. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was kind of meh either. So.
He did have three Sun Belt championships at Louisiana at ULL, but
Mhm.
that was a time. really before the portal got going and
Yeah,
before NIL got going. And even JUCO is much different now. He relied on a lot of JUCO players there. JUCO's not really a huge thing anymore. He had overwhelming talent in the Sun Belt that helped him a lot.
yeah.
I don't know if he's necessarily going to have that this time. It's going to be interesting though, what kind of players from Florida follow him there, if any. If he's able to
Yeah.
nab a few, or guys he recruited at the SEC level that have to transfer out.
Probably some of those three-star linemen, if I'm gonna guess.
Probably, and Rob Sale too with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be curious if he gets the band back together there.
I
And
mean,
he
that'd be fun.
also,
I'd root for that.
it will be interesting, and it'll also be interesting. I didn't see anything about who the play caller will be yet
We
at
know who the play
JMU.
caller's gonna be. We know who the
Oh,
play
we know?
caller's gonna be. We know
Okay.
who the play caller's gonna
All
be.
right, I tend to agree. If we didn't see anything about it, it's probably the same thing it's always going to be,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate, but Tiger doesn't change his stripes, right? You've heard that saying, right?
I've heard that one. I've heard that
All
one.
right, good. All right, so that one's officially Cap.
Yeah.
All right, Cap. All right, and then now our mailbag segment. Should I read our sponsor, Trey?
Sure.
All right, our mailbag segment presented by Chat GPT and also presented by Air Fried Water. Hydration has never been crisper. First one. Do Gator fans want Jon Sumrall to win Friday and officially be a playoff caliber coach, or lose so he'll be in Gainesville faster?
I I am going to be rooting for him to win every game. So like I said before, especially since now we've passed National Signing Day, all I care about is him being here in time to recruit the portal. So as long as he's done with the playoffs by the time the portal opens up, then then I don't think there's really any detriment to Florida for him to continue coaching. So so yeah, absolutely. I think Florida fans should absolutely root for him to win the they're they're in the AAC, right?
AAC, right?
Okay, yeah. To win the AAC, I'm sorry. Win the AAC
Should
championship.
be.
Yeah, I should have known that off the dome. Win the AAC championship and win a playoff game. I mean, his team has a chance to win a playoff game. I mean, depending on the who they get matched up against.
Right.
Um, they're not winning two, but they could pull off an upset and win one. And that's what I'm going to be rooting for, and that's what I think all Gator fans should be rooting for.
I think the aura of a playoff caliber coach coming to Gainesville could be pretty cool.
Mhm.
Obviously, he's already got aura, but
Yeah.
what's wrong with more? And clearly, he's shown he can do both jobs at once so far. So I'm
Mhm.
not going to say, hurry up and get here because he's doing it well. Um,
Yeah.
and I think, he's worked really hard. Every coach's dream is probably to be in that playoff, so he deserves
Absolutely.
it. I'm not going to root against him. I hope he makes it. It's
Mhm.
going to be a really good game, too. North Texas is also very good
Yeah.
with Morris, who's going to Oklahoma.
Yeah. Exact same
Neither
situation with their head coach. Yeah.
neither team has the excuse of their head coach being distracted or checked out because both are leaving.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting there. Should be a great game. All
Yeah.
right, question number two. And this was also big news. How does Brian Hartline to USF affect the Gators and the other in-state schools? Obviously, we've seen Brian Hartline make huge inroads at Florida since
Mhm.
he's been at Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite interesting how that unfolds.
Yeah. I know one thing. If he does nothing else, he's going to get some dogs at receiver for USF. So that could make life. See, in some ways, I guess Ohio State never had any trouble getting wide receivers from the state of Florida, anyways. So it probably doesn't matter because you know. But I think he's probably going to be able to get some good offensive talent there at USF and keep some talent home that would maybe otherwise have gone somewhere else, like out of state. Hopefully he's not stealing any wide receivers or QBs out from under Florida. But I'm excited to see how it turns out for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, there is some dudes out there that probably want to play for him.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've heard that USF has the best NIL situation in the AAC, so
Yeah.
they got some money to play around with.
Yeah.
And FSU, I don't know that they're an attractive option right now. UCF, not really. Even though they're in a Power Four right now, not really. I think a school kids are going to flock to right now.
Yeah.
So the competition is really, I think, a little less than it usually is. Obviously, Florida and Miami have great NIL, and you're
Yeah.
not going to really pull players away from them 9 out of 10 times. You might be able to get one. But if you're a receiver from Tampa, oh, that reminds me of Dallas Wilson. But
Yeah, I
no.
know. I was thinking the same thing.
Um, if you're a receiver from Tampa or Florida, I mean, I gotta think that you're probably zeroing in on that program right now. Although we have to remember he's a guy that was essentially born on third base. I mean, he's only really worked at Ohio State, which is a top three program. Never really see him anywhere else. Has that helped him? Has that hurt him? I don't know. We'll see. I'm personally very interested to find out. All right, here's another one for you, Trey. Does Buster Faulkner bring in his own quarterback next season, or will it be Lagway?
So I
Running it back
think
with Lagway.
I think we're going to bring in a quarterback from the portal. Um, I don't think we can afford not to. So I think Jon Sumrall is too smart, and Buster Faulkner, I'm going to guess, is too smart to just say, all right, well, let's this QB room has been very mediocre for the last, since 2021 onwards, but we'll just work with what we got here. Like, no, DJ Lagway all obviously has a ton of talent. I want to, a lot of Gator fans are wanting to kick him to the curb and want him to go somewhere else. I, you know, assuming we don't have to pay an arm and a leg to keep him, uh, I do want us to hold on to him so that because he obviously has tremendous upside. So if Buster Faulkner is able to unlock that, then DJ Lagway still has the potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But uh, like I said, we can't afford to bank on that. So yeah, I would really hope that he would bring in his own QB. I think he will. I think he'll bring in another QB from the portal.
He at the very least needs competition to push him. I think he
Mm-hmm.
really it did him no favors not having that essence of competition this year.
Yeah,
And like we've seen, he's also injury prone.
yeah,
So unfortunately, we do need a guy, a capable guy, uh, that can step up behind him, or even maybe in front of him. Who
yeah,
knows? We'll see in spring ball. I do think they'll bring in another guy. There's going to be a lot of quarterback needy teams this offseason too. A lot of new head coaches, a lot of quarterbacks going on the carousel too. Um, by the way, Penn State, I just thought about them. Signing day just passed. Still no coach. I
yeah.
think they had two players committed or two players signed.
Yikes. Yeah, I saw an article or a post today that they're finally looking at Matt Campbell. So who knows if he's even interested? I hear he's pretty happy at Iowa State as well. But I mean, if they got him, that'd be a good hire. But if they don't land Matt Campbell, then I feel like
They
they
might
got
hire you, Trey.
what?
They might hire you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure they're taking open applications. But yeah, if they don't get Matt Campbell, then I feel like they got to look at one of the fired NFL head coaches and see if one of them wants to take a stab at coaching college football.
Right. I have heard Brian Daboll's name as well.
Hmm.
Um, there's plenty of fired NFL coaches to go around. None of them good, but you can have one. That's definitely,
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to be the first one to fire and then the last one to hire of the coaching
Yeah.
carousel. That's been pretty crazy. I mean, it feels like ages ago they fired James Franklin, and they're still out there looking for someone.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah.
Um, that's just to me though. My takeaways from what's going on in the past. It's almost been a week to the day. I believe it was last Friday we found out that Florida would not be hiring Lane Kiffin. In fact, they're pulling themselves out of the race. And then the meltdown of all meltdowns occurred online. But it's almost been a week, and I feel like in just those 6 days, we have really seen tangible steps that we've made a good hire, and that Jon Sumrall is what I like to call hashtag smart guy. Um, I think he knows what he's doing. I think he gets it, and it's going to be really interesting what he does when he's actually here in town and the transfer portal opens. Um, it's going to be, yeah, there's going to be a lot of exciting things happening, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm really excited about Jon Sumrall. The sentiment in the fan base, I think, has done a complete 180 between all the noise coming out of Oxford and Baton Rouge with Lane Kiffin's messy exit, and as well as what Jon Sumrall has done, not just in his press conference, but with taking, like you said, tangible steps, hiring two really good coordinators. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how the rest of the staff fills out, and what he's able to do in the transfer portal. I think that the future is bright for next season.
All right. Well, actually, Trey, I want to make a change. Can I change my hashtag that I said earlier?
Sure.
I said hashtag smart guy, but I want to change it to hashtag smart adult
Yeah.
because I don't believe we've had enough smart adults running the program. Now it seems like we finally have one. So that's my hashtag now. I've TM'd it already, and it's
Right.
patented, so no one steal it.
I don't. Smart adult just doesn't have the same ring to it. I don't think you're going to have to worry about people trying to steal that one.
That's fine. I'll keep it just for me. That's all I wanted was a smart adult, and it seems like I got it. We got it. We got it.
Yes. Yes.
All right. About National Signing Day, one more thing, Trey. Obviously, a lot of excitement about who we signed, keeping the top guys committed, but we're each going to pick one favorite signee, and one sleeper signee,
Mhm.
and I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Okay. So my favorite, I'll say, is KJ Ford. He's really highly rated edge player out of Texas. Um, Ohio State wanted him. Texas wanted him. Florida got him. So he's big. He's fast. I think he's a really exciting player. Who's your favorite?
My favorite would probably be Davion Gross, who is also our highest rated
Mhm.
commit. It's not the most need-based commit we have because we have good receivers. Hopefully they stay. But this guy, I mean, he's a dog, man.
Mhm.
Uh, he plays in a great classification in Texas, big time football. Big body, 6'1", 190. Also has track speed. Can play running back. Can play receiver. I won't compare him to Percy Harvin, but um, he's got some Percy Harvin abilities.
Mhm.
Uh, and
Hey, we're
I
fans. We
got
can say whatever we want. We don't
right,
have to be responsible here.
right. Yeah, that's true, Trey. And
This is
then,
the second coming of Percy Harvin.
well, those were your words, not mine. I do think he's going to be a dude for us, and he'll play as a freshman. And now with the OC we have, I believe that he will find ways for him to get the ball right away. And he also returns kicks. So if VB3 doesn't do that next year, then there's a job for him right there.
Mhm.
All right, and now your sleeper. Who do you think is an underrated guy that we got?
So I think it depends on how you define underrated, I guess. My sleeper I picked was Kendall Gerbil. So he's a top 200 guy. So he's still a 4 star. But the Napier staff when he committed, they came out and said, including Gerald Chapman, who we'll see may get retained, came out and said that Kendall Gervil was their number one guy, their number one D line prospect. Um, so if that is even close to coming true, and he really is that kind of player, then I mean that's a player to watch. An honorable mention to Heasy Kent, the tight end, offensive tackle, athlete. I think he's playing tight end. Uh,
Yeah,
but the fact that he's listed as a 4-star at both tight end and at offensive tackle is really exciting because if he can, he can make some really nice catches, and if he can do that and be over 300 pounds and block like an O lineman, then he's going to be a heck of a tight end.
well, I hate to burst your bubble, Trey, but Tony Livingston was also 4-star at tackle and tight end, and he's fine. But I mean,
Yeah,
he actually was underweight when he came into school, and Hezi Ken is well overweight.
yeah.
But I'm open to it. If he can make plays at his size, then who's going to get in his way? Um, all right, my sleeper pick would probably be Chancellor Campbell, who not a lot of people seem to really talk about. But I mean, this dude has got very unique traits. I mean, he's already 6'8", 300 pounds.
Dang.
He's got, I don't remember his wingspan off the top of my head, but I believe it would have been in the 90th percentile at the combine as a high schooler.
Yeah.
And he's a first off the bus looking kind of guy. Big schools wanted him. Still a 3-star, so you could qualify him as underrated. But the
Oh
dude,
yeah.
it's just hard to find dudes like that, man. And maybe not a people mover yet, as you would describe it. He's got to work on his strength and his technique. But once he gets that down, I mean, he'll be a guy that could be a franchise tackle,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, with the right coach, not Rob Sale,
No,
thankfully.
not Rob Sam.
But he would be my guy I would pick for about 2 to 3 years from now, being maybe one of the top 3 to 5 players in the class, an NFL guy.
I like that. I like that pick. Uh,
And we could use it, trust me.
oh yeah. Yeah, like you said, guys that are 6'8", are not easy to find. And at 6'8", at 300 pounds, he's probably pretty lean.
He gained weight. He actually looks a little bit skinny.
Yeah, which is crazy. So yeah, get him in a gosh darn real college football weight training program, and yeah, let's see what pops out.
Hey, after Thanksgiving, he's probably 306 pounds now,
Yeah,
point 0.5. But that'll fall off with the August heat once he gets to campus.
that's right. That's right.
Any other thoughts, Trey, before we sign off?
No, I think I'm all good. Like I said, I'm excited by Jon Sumrall. Uh, I think he summarized it really well when he said, winners win. I'm a winner, and we're going to win here at Florida. So that got me amped.
Right, and I also forgot to mention this, the contrast between that and the Napier formula in his press conference, which was patience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should have raised some flags right there. I remember back then we did want to hire a program builder, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's what kind of the echo statement he wanted to put out there that I'm going to build a program, but you got to be patient with while I'm building it, which is understandable. But he also was kind of saying in a way, "Hey, we're gonna lose, so be
Yeah.
okay with it."
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
know,
true. That's not a strong opening statement. I think that maybe
and
is
he did good on that promise. He
he
lost
did.
a lot.
That's one promise he kept. Uh, I think that maybe was a message that is more applicable to the way the college football used to be, and just is not. It's just a non-starter from a messaging standpoint in the NIL and transfer portal era.
Yeah, unfortunately, fans just aren't as patient as he thinks they are, especially at a SEC school.
I mean, we were pretty patient, to be fair.
We
I
actually,
think
yeah, he maybe got a little bit more
We got
leeway.
4 years.
Yes, he got a little bit more leeway than maybe he should have, but
Yeah.
and also this is a conversation for another day. But the no offset language in the buyout. I
Well,
mean, he already got another job. They're probably going to pay him, 8 to 10 million. So that would have cut our buyout to him in half.
yeah.
I don't understand how that happened. Who did the contract
It's Jimmy
negotiations there? But
Sexton's world, and we're just living in it.
right, the
That's
famous
how it happens.
catchphrase.
That man runs college football.
Now they did fix that in this new contract. There is some it's incentive based heavily. There's
Mhm.
less
I love that.
buyout percentage owed if he gets fired, which obviously we don't hope he does.
No.
Seems like we learned our lesson there. And also his assistant pool is very very generous. It's
Yeah.
over 16 million. But it's not just for on the field assistants, that's for everyone off the field,
Mhm.
even the nutritionist. That's everyone in the program. But if you take into account what a Napier got, I believe he got around 12%.
Really? Wow.
So that's still a pretty big bump.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think that's probably why you saw him pick us over Auburn is what we were going to give him to be able to compete. And we're already seeing it. He's making great coordinator hires and he's keeping our top dudes around.
Heck yeah, man. I yeah, I think we got a lot to be excited about.
All right, everyone. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's show. We appreciate you all tuning in. We'll be back next week with more takes, more highlights, and maybe a few more bold predictions. But until then, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Gators. Adios from two guys, one swamp.
Go Gators, baby.